Good evening. This is the second episode recap of Red Center by Night, also known as Outback at Night. My name is Rina, and I am the storyteller for this chronicle.
I am Melissa, and I'm playing Alice for this chronicle.
I'm Aston, and I am playing Mr. Talon.
I'm Matt, and I'm playing Mr. Winters.
I'm Kai, and I am your Maxi.
And I'm Jeff, and I'll be. Wait, hold on. I'm Lou, and I'll be playing Jeff.
We got so close.
Do it!
That's what we call method acting right there.
I was already in Canada.
No, I based Jeff off him, like him generally living with him and everything.
Oh, I can totally see it. Yeah.
Thanks for using me as
Because the Second Inquisition, you guys have to understand, the Second Inquisition group, before the start of this whole chronicle, we had the one shot, and I told them that Mr. Winters has an intern, and all of them decided on the name Jeff. And I'm like, okay, so I need a Jeff now to actually form this person. And then I look to my right, to my to Lou just basically being himself, and I'm like, yeah, okay, so that's gonna be Jeff, and this is gonna be the description, and this is gonna be
I just love that you were in your head. You were thinking, "Who is the most annoying, incompetent person I know?" Oh, I'll base it off my husband.
Exactly my thought process. I was like, so the intern, the annoying, useless intern.
It's not useless.
And also, he never does the dishes. Ugh.
Honestly, just
God.
But isn't it the highest form of flattery that your wife needed someone and the first person she thought of was you?
I think I just happened to be there.
Just go with me on this one, okay?
just walk onto set and get the job.
I think we got.
Anyway, let's move on from this whole awkward conversation.
Yes, let's stop calling out Rena and Lou. Let's just support it, everybody.
So, how about those episode recaps? Hey?
Yeah.
God, well,
Let's start with the Camarilla.
Yeah, well, the Camarilla episode 2 was up first, and honestly, this episode was really when I think pretty much all four of us started setting up our own dominoes in a way, because let's be honest, there is no trust between. We're trying to get along, and Jen is trying to get along with people, and. Episode 2, God, it was really... I'm not going to say wasted. We spent a lot of time having isolated one-on-one conversations, which was sort of like, I'd say, a majority of the first half of things, before then we had that brief time skip, which was confusingly interrupted by the arrival of my nemesis. Well, one of them, Alice. But
Mwah!
8 arrived, but then really 8 arrived. And
You
sort of-
didn't know that she was your nemesis, though.
No, well, okay. Maxie was like, great, 8, I don't quite trust her intentions, but we need her help, awesome. But Kai, am going, maybe I should kill her.
Can try.
No, look, honestly, I've put that option entirely to the side. But no, then the tension just began to rise as... Well, Maxie betrayed everybody.
Yeah, basically.
That was sort of a lot of smaller events for each of us individually came to fruition. Like, Maxie, it was revealed... Well, it actually wasn't revealed because no one else knows, even though
No.
Jen was in the room, that Maxie this entire time has known 9 and has known where 9 is and how to get in contact with her and has been blatantly misdirecting the others. And so Maxie then lied to Jen, which I'm sure there will be no platonic repercussions for. I'm so dead. And then Maxie sort of, after having the smallest of standoffs with 8, like minuscule 5-sentence long standoff, then just left.
There wasn't even anything on my end.
It was really just... not so much the standoff, it's more of like planning the future standoff. Like, 8 just going, we should talk. I need to talk to one of you later. And Maxie's just going, me. But that didn't end up happening because Maxie then just got kidnapped.
Which is a spoiler.
No, that's in the episode, isn't it? No, you're
No.
right. Fuck. Well, episode 2 was...
You guys flying into Alice Springs?
It was the Alice... Yeah, I'm mixing them up. Yeah, sorry, no, episode... Shut up, Alice. But episode 2 was the major planning episode.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know each other. We were we were on a plane together the entire episode. It was more or less a bucket episode because we couldn't go anywhere else because we spent most of the time just on the plane. And sort of setting up the dominoes in a way. It was we didn't get a lot done main plot-wise, really.
I think it's more of a character building episode.
Really?
Yeah, you got
Because-
to see a lot of the characters figuring out who they are, how they fit into the group dynamic,
Yeah.
and also like, okay, well, it's on like Donkey Kong.
Yep.
What can I bring to the team?
Yeah. And none of us trust each other, but because from all the episode 2s, I don't really think anyone trusts each other at all. There's no affection between anyone from any of the other groups, really.
I'm sorry, what?
I mean, there's you and I, of
Oh.
course. And Jen and well, I wouldn't say affection as much as this
Look,
raw
it's just a
tension.
really good thing that you're sitting diametrically opposed to me right now, because I would climb over the table and strangle you. But it's fine. It's fine. Me and my sisters, we're all peachy. It's you bloody Camarilla and the stupid ass eye that need to worry.
Oh yeah, no, we all hate. No, we don't hate it. Well, Jen and Charlie get along. They're roomies.
Yeah, they're roomies. You literally have one line in the room where you know like exactly which area is whose.
Now that I think about it as well, is that Jen and Charlie get along. Jen and Delilah get along. Delilah's trying to go, it's just Maxie!
I don't know, maybe it's the fact that Maxie's trying to plan and plot behind the back of their own coterie.
Episode 1, Maxie was full polite energy because Maxie is genuinely nice, but the moment...
I beg to differ.
Okay, well there was a moment with a box, but episode 2 was when Maxie was like, you know what? I'm gonna become the most sus person here.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
I think, no, that is actually quite a feat in and of itself when you think about all the other sus characters we have.
Yeah, it's like because I joined things relatively late, and I sort of like had in my mind, okay, so I don't want to become. I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm just gonna like fill in an empty spot on the team, and that's gonna be because I love playing characters like that. That'll be great. I get to almost the end of episode 1, and my brain just goes, you know what? I'm gonna be the most manipulative, sly, and untrustworthy person here.
I'm here for it. Bring it, baby.
But
Bring it.
Episode 2 was also really the start of Delilah's tragedy. Because
Yeah.
that was like, Izzy is playing Delilah spectacularly.
Oh,
She really
so
is.
it's marvelous watching Delilah unfold. I'm just waiting
Oh.
for the big reveal where she has a moment or a crisis of faith or
Oh.
something.
I'm honest. Yeah, we're all waiting for the breakdown because it's coming. Like you can kind of feel it building whenever because episode 2 was also a lot of us explaining. It's actually really good because we're the first in the rotation.
Yeah.
Because episode 2 was also a lot of the three of us taking in turn sort of explaining the Masquerade and such to Delilah. So at the moment, Delilah is sort of like a good blank face for the audience, for members of the audience who don't play a lot of Vampire. So that's like useful in that way, which is actually, the more I think about it, really handy considering. Fair enough.
No, she's a good mechanic for teaching the audience who
Yeah.
may not be as familiar with what the hell's going on the screen.
Yeah.
Especially since we are setting this in Australia and we're getting more Australian audience, most of those people don't know how to play Vampire or VTM
Or
in
if
general.
they do, it'll be old.
Like it will be the
Older
older
editions, yeah.
older editions, which is like it can be confusing. It's really simple 5th edition, but it's confusing for older generations to try and get into. That's why they always stick to the 20th edition or something.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at me when you say older people?
I didn't mean that. I was looking at Panthers in this slide.
How
to
dare
you.
you!
Hey, Grandma, do you need to speak up? Sorry.
I'm so glad I avoided that one.
I think going from older editions as an older player, I'll own it, into V5, it does require a leap of faith. You have to understand that V5 was basically redesigned from the ground up to make it easier for new players, not necessarily new storytellers, but new players to come in, take a pre-gen character sheet and just run with it. And a lot of the lore doesn't matter necessarily, a lot of the meta plot doesn't necessarily pertain to whatever it is that you're playing, which makes it frustrating for older players because, you know, we've grown up from maybe first edition or, like myself, revised edition, all the way through, and we're like, must read all of the books, must know all of the meta plot, must be down with all of the politics all the time.
Yeah.
And then we hit V5 and we're like, wait, what?
Wait, what?
Did someone just turn over 2 pages at once? What the hell's going on?
Yeah, where'd it go? What's going on?
Yep.
Yep, because it's kind of, and I hate, like, I'm going to be traitorous and bring up a different system. It's kind of like the difference between, I'd say, D&D 3.5 and 5e. Like, they just stripped away a lot of the depth, which is fine, but because it means that individual games and individual groups can sort of, like, there's all this room to add their own, I hesitate to use the word homebrew, but their own interpretations of the mechanics.
No, but
if
it's
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
And it's... Oh, no, you go ahead.
No, it's more like I think somebody has talked about this on Twitter, where a lot of players, newbies into the tabletop games, are scared of actually getting into the game because of all this lore. So
Yeah.
most game publishers would scrap all that lore just so like these new players won't be intimidated of trying out this new system.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like you want to make those systems the least bit confronting in order to attract new players in. So it's like 5e in that example would be like the gateway drug.
Yep.
And
The
then
first taste is
3.5 is your meth, essentially.
Yeah.
Like, as a 60s now, as a 60-year-long Pathfinder DM, I refer to 5e as baby's first RPG.
But it's like it's
See, I don't. I appreciate the joke in that. It's like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like...
It's phenomenal.
It is, but it's also it is so much easier to bridge the concept between it's not just numbers on a page. It's a role playing game,
Yep.
and this is how you have to conflate those two different kind of ideas. Because I've had people, I used to run live sessions for people to come and try it for the first time, and we found that a lot of it was like some people you'd find would just play it like a video game. It was all about the number crunching and the stats and the items and the the loot and things like that.
Yeah.
And other people were just like, I couldn't care less what's on the sheet. I don't want to have to deal with the numbers. I just want to play a fun story. And having that kind of the ease of accessibility
Do you
really
think
helps.
that vampire is sort of like like a really good hybrid between those two interpretations? Because there is a fair amount of numbers with vampire, but there's also so much room for roleplay interpretation, like with every dot on the goddamn character sheet.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of baked into the what would you call it?
Framework?
The framework, yeah, the framework in a way, like especially with a lot of the explanations coming down to this effect lasts for one scene as opposed to
Right.
one round of combat, or it's much more focused on this is a role-playing game.
Yep.
You have to play the role.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on Reddit would get a bee in their bonnet about the thought of, I don't know, storytelling system being about telling stories as opposed to min-maxing your characters. But I think you two have just nailed it on the head. Like it's there to stretch your character development into. It's not there to tell you what to roll when, exactly how. It's basically look at your storyteller, and if they tell you to roll whatever they tell you to roll.
Yeah.
It's more like I told you guys, I think several times already, Vampire the Masquerade is not just a story that the storyteller tells, it's the players as well. It's not up to the storyteller how the story would go, because the players can take it all the way the
Oh my
opposite
God.
direction.
A storyteller can have a perfect pitch in their head and know exactly what they want the characters to do, but it's perfect storm. Every story is perfect until you hand it to your players and then they fuck it up.
Yeah, that's why.
I agree with that sentiment. 100%.
As someone who has watched 6 episodes of us, we are fucking idiots. There is not a single...
I don't know, man.
I'm speaking for all of us.
Listen,
That's
that's
okay. No, you can speak for me in that regard. I think that's pretty accurate.
Watching you, Rena, watching us, useless.
Oh yeah.
And you're looking at us as if we're water slipping through your fingers.
Listen, I already had like other groups like test run the first few episodes of this chronicle, and it's like it went differently than you guys would have done it.
differently good or differently bad?
The players have actually, well, at least for the SI, for the first episode, I already mentioned this last recap, but the first episode test run for the SI, Lou was in it. Well, he was a player. He was like the Mr. Talon of their group.
Nice.
And at the end of it, he was basically using the holy water as perfume and basically making it rain on the whole
Based him
blood.
like a chicken.
The security room where you guys got stuck, he was just making it rain holy
You
water.
gotta protect yourself from these evil creatures, and that's one way to do it.
Yep.
Aston, why did you using the word based just give me the image of like an Inquisitor walking to a church and just going, "Baste me"?
No, I'm
Baste me
stop.
like a
I
divine
don't.
turkey.
I don't
Sorry.
put that image in my head, okay?
I got an idea for a Hunter Chronicle now.
I'm just looking at Melissa.
But yeah,
Hunter the Basted.
I am both intrigued and concerned.
But yeah, at
Turkey
least
based
for
on?
the test run group for episode 2 Camarilla, they got to Alice Springs and went straight to the casino where they met some of the NPCs without actually triggering any of my setup.
What's that like? Sorry.
Very fast-paced.
Are you?
There's a
Would you like to
casino in Alice
comment
Springs.
on what setup you had in mind?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
If you can, without
Without
spoiling
spoilers.
anything.
And that's scolding us.
I think at this point, the whole Camarilla group is just traumatized by the casino thing, that they're not gonna go back in there anytime soon. But there is an NPC there that could have helped them a lot with information. Because Alice is not the only person in Alice Springs to have this wealth of information. But they decided to leave the baby. But yeah, that's for the future episodes. Anyway.
Charlie and I didn't even.
It's fine. The second episode was quite slow. It's more of like the character building for the Camarilla, which I don't mind, honestly. It's good for setting up what's to come.
Yeah, I think in a season of as many episodes as we have planned, I think the second and third episodes are kind of the best point to pull in that character development. The longer term character development that's got to stretch out a session a little bit longer, because you've opened with a punch.
Yeah.
Then you need to slow it down for your easy to watch cadence for your long term viewers, and then you dive back into the story and screw things up, which I'm
And
sure the
dive
Camarilla group
straight
will
in,
do.
they did. It's great.
Every time it's always me.
You're the only Camarilla aficionado on the table.
Yeah, so technically,
I
like.
think generous wording for it.
I am nothing if not a generous benefactor to those who catch my eye,
Look,
Maxie darling.
Look, I sit next to Jen. I do not have a wheel on like a hand on the wheel of this bus.
Yeah.
Like fucking Jen and Delilah just going, "We're gonna do this," and I'm sitting there going, "Please don't."
It's fine though. That
Charlie,
is
can you
basically
please just-
well, Charlie's basically with them as well.
And they keep
Charlie's
dragging
more
my
like
rule into their shit.
Nora.
or Nora.
Leave Nora out of it.
Nora's fine.
I'm just watching.
Why?
I'm like Sisyphus, but watching a snowball coming down the other side of the mountain.
Why is Maxie so protective of Nora?
Oh, okay.
Spoilers.
Yeah, I can't say. I imagine the thing is because considering my ability to fucking spoil 10 minutes into the podcast.
Yep.
We're a couple of episodes ahead filming than we are airing.
Right.
And the episode, I will say, like the episode I am doing next, as I stare right across the table, I imagine will actually be the episode depending on what questions are asked and like
Yeah,
how
it
far
might
people
reveal.
how far people are like willing to push Maxie to go, hey, if you want us to trust you, you need to talk to us. I imagine that actually might be the episode where, because it was kind of like revealed a little bit. I didn't
Well,
play
we
it very.
learned that Nora was adopted by Maxie.
Yes,
Yeah,
you did.
no,
So we
First
learned
episode.
that. So, I mean,
Second episode. Yeah.
Melissa, parent Melissa, would go, well, there's a connection right
Yeah.
there. Like, child parent,
Yeah.
you're going to be protective of them. But I sense there's more.
I've tried to play it very subtly, even in episode. I didn't do very well in our episode 1, but I've tried to play it very subtly that, even considering in episode 2 you guys meet the other people on my plane, that Maxie is just insanely protective of humans, just as an impulse.
She was so. the worst
no,
idea.
we kind of noticed that.
Yeah, Maxie is just, that's always going to be Maxie's priority. Like in a scene will always be protect the person there, and like Nora is Maxie's person.
Right.
This will
Nora,
never be
like-
used against you at all
No.
No, we're
in the
not
future.
taking
No,
it.
totally
Not
not.
taking it.
That's why.
But I imagine.
How do you spell Nora, by the way? I know R-A.
Wait.
So
I want to hear
last
more
name,
about the
you know.
twins.
Oh, the fucking.
Oh yeah.
Twins.
Say they were twins.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damien and Parker Trike,
Oh,
my
right.
twin pilots.
Damien and
the
Parker.
horniest fucking people in the goddamn Chronicle.
I mean, you put
I doubt
pilots,
that
you put
very
pilots
much.
into a story as soon as that came
Oh, yeah,
up,
no,
and then
but-
someone, I think it was Rita, said like, of course they're
It was
saying they're
Rita.
pilots. I was
Yeah.
just like, trust.
Yep.
Listen, I work in the airport, so I've seen a lot of hot pilots coming down.
Yeah. But
It's like, whoa.
the next episode I do, I imagine, will be when Maxie is finally asked, "Hey, what's your deal with humans?"
Yeah.
Right.
And that will
That's
probably
gonna
that
be-
will probably be the moment where Maxie just goes, "Let me tell you about my daughter," and like that might be. the
Dum
moment.
dum dum.
Yeah.
Cool.
Maxie's got a lot of secrets. Maxie is wrong. Capital W, just wrong.
Yeah, Maxie's totally not gonna suffer from consequences.
Yeah, it's
Here
fine.
comes my
Wait, what's that?
consequence,
Consequences?
Consequences? No, they don't exist.
That's not a real word.
Quincy Conces.
I mean, technically, the first bomb was dropped, the next bomb. I can't wait. I'm so excited as
but
the
now that
storyteller.
like, I've been setting up all these careful dominoes, and then you're just like, no.
Rena is the cat.
You guys are
She
playing
glass off
different,
the
there's different
table.
games. She was playing Snap.
Yeah, I'm setting up this very delicate house of cards in Alice Springs, and Alice is kind of doing the same, setting up things like, well, you're not setting up the house of cards. You have the house of cards.
You're in my house, bitch.
like you're like 10 layers tall, and you're just looking at me with my like.
Come into my
yeah,
temple that
pretty
has
much.
been here for centuries.
Yeah,
I guess
I'm
in
still
that-
putting the first two cards together. I'm just like, I'll get you eventually, I promise.
In that analogy, where in the middle of the desert, looking at a map upside down, thinking, where the fuck is this house of cards? Like, we
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah.
Funny thing
Which
is, it's like,
The Inquisition is so interesting to me, but we will get to that.
as the storyteller, all I can say is the Camarilla is so innocent right now, so clueless as what's to happen.
Oh yeah.
But I think the more innocent group is the Second Inquisition.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like we've been told far more than we've understood.
Yeah,
at this
I've
point.
dropped so many,
Yeah.
literally dropped so many
Yeah.
hints. They just need to connect it all together. Because
Yep.
the Camarilla as well already gave like subtle
You have
hints.
messaged me a couple of times just going, have you put it together? You get it?
The thing is, we're definitely going to have one of those moments where it's like the red lines connected on the board, Charlie
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a chance to slow down yet and actually collect ourselves and have those discussions, because every 5 seconds we've got
It's
something
just-
news coming in and we're like, oh shit, okay, what's that? All right, now we've got this, we've got that.
You guys literally had like a quiet moment and you guys decided to just fuck off.
Oh my god, I'm tangled in the red
will-
cord.
You'll have to be more specific. We fucked off quite a lot.
I will admit that there was a point about an hour and a half into episode 1 of the Inquisition where I sort of sat back on my chair and I went, "We're meant to be afraid of these people?" Like, these are like in the triangle of things, these are our threat? Like, really?
Because you know how we are always afraid of something? Sometimes the truth is not what it's supposed to
Yeah.
be. Like,
Yeah.
I've already said that at the start of some of the episodes. Like, perspective is all you need. And the Second Inquisition is dealing with something far worse, which is tell us about the recap of the
I
second
will. I'll also say
episode.
that that the Second Inquisition are meant to be a veiled threat, but from our perspective, I mean, we're just humans.
They're
We're
just
as
humans.
close to humans as you can get, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is.
Trish
She's
is
shaking her head.
human.
She's like, yeah, sure he is.
Yeah, absolutely. That's. I'm staring at the three of you just going, I'm gonna fucking figure you out. I'm gonna crack this code. It will never happen, but still.
But yeah, Aston, tell us about the recap.
Okay, so we were transported, at the end of the first episode, we were transported through oblivion. And we awoke inside a townhouse, which we found out was in Alice Springs. So we were teleported around 40 minutes from where we had been delving underneath in the mines. And we found out that we'd actually been gone for an entire week that had just snapped us through. So we are officially time travelers, first time travel of the series.
Time passes
Congratulations
differently
to me.
in the Shadowlands.
Bravo,
Traveling
bravo,
forward in time
yes.
still counts. Thank you.
Good job.
Yes. So yeah, we all look a week's younger than we should, which is always a good thing.
Okay.
Yep. Subscribe for more beauty tips, please.
Just pass through Oblivion.
Just pass through Oblivion, you'll
Are
wake
you
up
catching
fresh
too
as a
much
daisy.
sun?
No, and so we meet. Now I just wanted to add on this because I know that Carol, was described as a sexy La Sombra.
I didn't even describe him.
Off camera, he was described as a sexy La Sombra, and I was thinking to myself, was that how he was described to me? Because I thought of someone that looked like my great-grandfather, because his name was Carol, so I made that
Not
connection, was
mutually
like,
exclusive,
Karel,
yes.
okay, cool. And,
I
yeah,
named
maybe.
him after my old head chef.
There are layers here.
I was about to say there are so...
Listen, when you're storytelling and you need a bunch of NPCs, you run out of names and you start using the names of people you know into the game.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need to do one of these recap sessions that's just a psychoanalysis on how you've managed to like piece together all of your NPCs.
At the end of the season, we're just having an episode where we're just tearing you apart.
Wait, we're not
This
doing
is
that
revenge.
today? Oh, sorry.
Patience.
Okay.
And so a lot of this episode was, as you were saying, it was development, but ours was in a sense of exposition. We had a lot of back and forth between Karel and us. A lot of it was, could be described as dick measuring, or...
Yeah, basically
A
that
lot
was
of
it.
vigorous
That was
nodding
it. That's
along
it.
the
That's
route.
all it
I love
was.
how you say that and all 5 other people nod.
yeah.
But also, setting up for things that you could look into in future.
Absolutely, and a lot of that I didn't actually notice the first time while we
Oh
were
my
playing.
god,
And I messaged
Carol
Rena about
dropped
this
so many
afterwards,
things.
and I was just like, she said something like, interesting, you look just like him. And I did not pick that up in game. Or maybe I did, and it was just, there were so many other tangents happening that I just dropped it. And then I was looking back and I go, who the fuck is she talking about? My mind was bursting with possibilities, just like, ooh. But yeah, so I'll explain a little bit about what was going on with Talon at this moment, because I only really understand my perspective. I have no idea what's going on with Joel at the same time.
I can help with that.
Talon is so interesting to me.
He's the kind of guy that
What do you mean, why?
he will accept the situation immediately. He's like, right, okay, cool. I've been teleported. That's not the weirdest thing that's happened to me. I'm in someone's house. This is either going to go south really quickly, or we're going to use this to our advantage. So his whole modus operandi kicked in, and he was like, all right, first point of reference is to make sure that anybody who needs to know where I am knows where I am, and that we have backup coming, because Talon doesn't trust, surprisingly, the other 2 members of his party at the moment. Trust is probably a bit of a stretch. He doesn't think that they would back him up if it came to a fight between any of the NPCs or PCs, and doesn't really have faith in their capabilities yet either. So he's seen what Dr. Yue can do, slightly. He's seen a bit of her kind of dexterity-based abilities and things like that, and he knows
Healing
about
abilities
the Kuei
too.
Jin.
Yeah.
But, his interest is essentially, if he's not in front of a computer, Talon doesn't really comprehend his usefulness in a situation other than kind of getting in the way. And so you'll see that frustration come to point more so when they kind of butt heads a bit, but it's like...
Make fire.
Spoiler.
So skipping ahead a little bit, yeah. So this is a fun tidbit that I think you guys talked about in the last recap as well, but I will explain it from my perspective. So pre this series, Joel and I spent a lot of time discussing characters and what we'd like to play. And having discussed with Rena, she wanted someone who was a true faith inquisitor sort of thing. I kept that quite strictly for my character, and I didn't really deviate much from that. Whereas we went through a number of iterations with Joel's character, so he ended up changing like 5 or 6 times. And so when this was, and this is
8
like,
times.
this is what I was saying to Rita, like, you know, for someone who's playing an investigator, I really have no idea what's fucking going on.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was playing a different character up until this point. Like, I knew the name and everything like that, but I literally thought he was playing a pyromancer.
Right.
So the part where I say, Trist, we need fire, I was expecting him to bust out his cool fire moves and be like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. Burn the house down, yeah! And then he just starts rummaging through the drawers looking for steel wool. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, dude, no, don't fuck around. We need fire now. I was like, just like pointing at his sheet almost. And then after, like, I think in the break of that session, I realized what happened.
Just going back to that scrummaging around for steel wool, I was watching the episode, seeing the cogs turning, and I'm like, I love where this is going. And then he's like, I'm looking for steel wool, and I'm looking at the light, and I'm like, oh, yes. And then Rena says, do not try this at home, kids. And I'm like, brilliant! Yes!
I need to put the disclaimer on because this is I don't want kids like trying it at home.
No, I feel like it needs to go in the content warning when we talk about, you know, when Alice is on screen and we're talking about bugs and gaslighting because she's a horrible person and does those sorts of things. When Trist is on camera, do not try anything that Trist does on camera.
So, steel wool and light bulbs? I'm going to try this when I get home.
Don't try this at home, kids.
I don't have insurance.
Yeah,
Trist is just
Ivy-
a walking behavior warning.
I agree with that. I think Dr. Yue during the time was just
Cursed.
no, she was actually helping save Aline. Because she was healing Aline during the time that there was a dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
And Joel, like Tris, was just looking to create fire. And Seven was just sitting there.
Eating the chicky nuggies and drinking the milk.
You noticed at that point where we all remembered that Seven was still in the room.
Oh,
with us?
Yes.
When you made like,
Oh my
you
God.
mentioned her, and then Joel's just sort of like, oh yeah, Seven's
yeah.
still here.
Yeah,
I'll
this-
take her to the kitchen. Like,
This poor mysterious kid. Like, okay.
You know, the one person you were told, you know, keep an eye on at all costs.
hey.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They're still here.
We failed every other task you set for us so far. So
And
I
accident-
feel like at least we're consistent.
Got that one?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
And the ones you succeed at was by accident. So, you know.
Task failed.
When we were missing for a week, all of our work mysteriously got done perfectly and on time because we weren't there to fuck it up.
I will, and we will slightly get to this with the Bahari episode, but I have noticed that no one in the Inquisition sits in the chair.
No.
The chair.
You guys are exempt from the cursed chair.
Oh, that
Oh,
chair.
well,
Yes.
actually,
No,
it's
Ivy was.
not
sorry,
the
Evie.
chair. It's not the chair, it's the table.
It's the,
Bleep me out.
Because we don't have the chairs anymore, but we still have the tables.
yeah, it's that spot, sorry.
It is that particular table, and I don't know which one it is because I mixed them up.
It's gonna be different now. It is exactly where Delilah is sitting now.
Oh, yeah, but it depends which table I set up where.
Yeah.
It's like a lucky
so
dip of
there is like
curses.
a certain spot that's just the curse seat now. So I'm excited for this. The SI group, you got like Dr. Yue is always being cursed to not roll beyond 2. That's it. For the Bahari, it's gonna be Lorna. That's just rolling 2.
Yeah. I feel so bad.
Lou, do you still have that holy water perfume dispenser?
Yeah.
We'll bring it soon.
Yeah.
Bring some sage. We'll sage and holy water the hell out of it. It'll be perfect.
So it's UA for the Inquisition, is it? That's cursed. There is one of us.
There's always one person
I
in
like
each
how
group that's
you tried
cursed.
to push the fact that it was my dice cursing you, and no, it's just the
It's the
position.
spot!
I'm still waiting for my apology, by the way.
Keep waiting.
But yeah,
Oh, damn.
with the
Throw something at me.
with the Second Inquisition episode after that, after Triss has made fire finally.
Yes.
Then he comes face to face with his mortal enemies.
Teenagers.
Teenagers.
I don't know
Oh my
what he
god,
was
I almost
thinking.
fell out of bed. That was the
That was
funniest
so
fucking
good.
thing.
I don't know
I
what
was
he was
dying in my chair.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
watching
you,
that
like,
go down.
Rigid. It was so funny.
I don't know what he was thinking. I asked him after, but he was like, okay, I have this tiny fire. You could just basically touch it to the curtains or something and it'll catch on fire. Instead, he went out to find like dry firewood.
this
and
was-
then
And I
sees
love-
like a group with fire, so he puts his tiny fire out.
And I love that he still took the time to make that quip about, well, I was just looking at the numbers on the house. That was the most obvious thing that should have been done.
He wanted to be part of that dick measuring contest. So I got little fire, but I can bring big fire and like outdo both of these fuckers.
Yeah.
Like asking the
Let me just go out and find a bigger dick.
I liked watching Joel throughout the episode because every now and then you'd see the hamster in the wheel turning a little bit faster and then it'd slow down and then it came to the teenagers bit and the hamster was taking a nap in the
Done.
wheel. It was just done. And I was sitting there going, what do you do? Don't do it. Don't do it. They're teenagers. They're like horrible. And then they started throwing things at him. I'm like, oh God, it's all over. This is how we all die because teenagers.
Yeah, no, I did genuinely think that, this is the moment where, like, the first death in the series will be Trist dying to a pack of teenagers.
In a
She
fire bin.
Just takes, like, one unfortunate rock to the head. And he's-
Only because one of them is a pyromancer.
That's the
Poor
real hit
Trist.
squad.
Yep.
This
He-
hit, like, sorry.
No, he came back and he went like, I just came back, like, I'm done.
It's just, why do you reek of shame? and
And
what's
body
that?
spray.
Oh.
Humiliation?
Yeah.
Yes.
This chronicle just ends with all three groups burning down the local high school.
Do not try this at home, kids.
They were the real villains all along. Yeah, but no, the reason instinctively Talon didn't just go out and check the numbers on the house, which would be the most obvious thing, is that he was not really convinced that the house itself was real or that he'd be allowed to leave. Because it didn't even know who this person is at the moment. They could be anybody with any motive. And the fact that they've just said, oh, well, this is my sister, I used to be one of you guys, and you know, you have your boss is bad, you have to look into all of this stuff. So yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that's a day in the life occurrence for any clandestine agent.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, cool, tell me what you want to know. I'll take it with a grain of salt. I'll take it back to the lab and see if it's worth anything.
Until it's verified, it's unverified, and you can't act on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's-
Talon is fantastic at like, and I was watching it over episode 1 and 2. Talon is fantastic at like receiving all this information and then just giving nothing.
Yeah. You portray Talon so beautifully, where it's just this
fantastic.
absolute
Just a
wall.
wall, a blank wall.
I'm really pleased to hear that, but I'm should I actually say this? No.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say there's nothing being retained. It's all because
Yeah.
it's going straight through me. Is why the wall is there. It's
The
not so much a
worst
wall as,
investigator
like,
in the SI.
But isn't that why we're recording the episode, so that we can all look back later before our next episode and make sure that we've gotten all the notes?
See, we're
Melissa, I
just
think we're
ahead.
safe.
Yeah, so,
Honestly,
yeah.
we're fine.
My notes are still 2 episodes behind what I need. We're filming episode 4. Yeah, okay, so 1 episode behind. So yeah.
I feel like the Bahari's in a blessed position for that then,
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah.
1 episode ahead. Yeah. So I can like watch it.
Does that mean you'll know what I'm doing before I'll do it?
I'm not seeing your episodes.
I mean, I will.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have Mr. Wind.
He's sitting in while we're doing all the episodes, so he's got the best seat in the house. He knows exactly what we're planning
That's
in order
why
to
he's
fuck
on
with
I
it.
like
our
the
team.
fact that
It's
the
out.
SI was like trying to plan how to kill Mr. Winters.
Yeah, well,
and Matt
assholes.
is just sitting there with a smile on his face, like zoning out.
Well, that's the thing, because like we do have to keep that in mind, because there are so many things that, I mean, well, I say we, I mean Trist, can do to mess with the other people while we're not in the room. Like, he can just do stuff remotely that will inconvenience the other groups, but it is more difficult to be like, how do we plan this secret thing to catch you off guard when you're listening to us, and you'll be watching this later.
Oh, don't worry. I just like whack my head into a wall after every session. Gets rid of everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good trick actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are you?
Who said that?
What? How'd I get here? Who the fuck are you people? I'm out.
It's working.
Wake up.
Oh, I just had the
Wake
most
up,
strange
man.
dream. You were complaining about something.
All right, so I'll wrap up. So after all of that occurs, we get information about Winter's doing something shady. We get a photo of him with Dasha. So now we have that connection established.
Matt's staring at me.
Ever heard of Photoshop? Jesus.
I mean, I love Dasha, but I fear Dasha. So, like,
I cannot wait for Talon and Dasha to have a session together.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I was 100% serious when I said that there would be a great spin-off coterie where we're the second deposition. It's just...
I think of all the characters involved in this, Dasha and Talon are the two that I personally and Alice would fear in the room together.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm thinking about it and I do not
Yeah.
like this.
I mean, I'm here for it, but
Oh,
also
yeah,
please don't.
I'm actually far more distrustful and fearful of your character.
Yeah, if Alice could stop pulling her, I'm in control of the Inquisition, I'm in control of the Sabat bullshit, I'd appreciate it.
That's
don't like
not
it.
going to happen anytime soon,
Whenever that
buddy.
comes out of your mouth, don't like that, not a fan.
Look, you just need to take everything that comes out of Alice's mouth and goes into her ears with a huge grain of salt, because it may or may not be true.
Are you saying we got to put salt on the flies? Are we eating the flies?
Who are you?
What?
What?
There is actually, I was just watching this earlier, but don't ask why, but I know that there is a certain city or really small village in Africa where they actually grab flies using a pot. They gather it using a pot and make fly cakes.
Huh.
And they eat it as like a source of protein.
Protein, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, why not?
I've eaten a fly.
Don't get any ideas, they're mine.
I feel like you'd season them well though. Just be like, Musk of Alice.
Say that phrase one more time.
Please don't.
Do you want your own box moment?
Come on, say it while everyone's quiet.
Hubble, bubble, dialing trouble, Musk of Alice.
I'm traumatized.
I was going to say I won't because I don't want that to be cut and used against me in some project.
Yeah, honestly.
Would we do that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, we
Consistently.
would.
So we go through this conversation with Karel, and they're giving us a call to investigate ourselves. And what I found funny but also very frustrating for Talon was that he was gearing up to fight. He would have, if that scene didn't end, he would have done things that I will keep for when he will use them. Would have used things in order to try and fight off Karel and get Eileen out of there, because like the priority was, it's like, yeah man, she might be your sister, you might say that, but I have a duty of care now. He didn't, when they were in the facility and everything was going down, he was like, oh, fuck, just leave her.
Kill Aline. You guys wanted to kill her.
But that was then, and this is a week later. He's grown a lot since then. But no, but
Here to stop
Character-
reflection and just-
yeah, but no, but it was sort of like, well, she's one of our colleagues. You can't. We're not just going to be like, okay, see you later. We'll go now. Thank you. See you next time. Like, bro, what do you think is going
If Talon
on?
actually spoke like that, I'd be here for it.
Hey guys, so...
Tough exterior, and then that just comes out of his mouth. Yes.
And
Walked into the room stone-faced. Hello?
but I just
Inquisition?
Second Inquisition.
We're here to arrest you. Oh no, kindred and our swings.
Oh my god.
oh, cause you're killing me. Oh, you're killing me. But I liked that it was humorous for me in the sense that he goes from like, there is absolutely no fucking way that I am letting you leave here with her, and there's no way I'm leaving here without her. We're going to do a standoff, to immediately scene ends and he's just like sitting in the car driving home without her with his arms folded while Seven eats chicken nuggets in the back, and he's just like, I fucking hate you guys.
Chicken nuggies. Seven has like the best day of her life. I think you guys, like the audience, didn't see this, but I posted it in the bloopers, which most likely will be at the end of this. Like, I asked them, I asked the group, so do you guys want to start the scene when you guys are pulling up to the Macca's drive-thru? And Joel is immediately like, please no, I don't want to be tortured any further.
Honestly, after the Second Inquisition episodes, we better get a fucking sponsorship eventually. How much product placement do you need?
The chicken nuggets is there to stay.
Chicken
What
nuggets
do we
is
think
canon.
a McTrist
Yeah.
would taste like?
Yeah, honestly, like
Salt.
the
And
I was,
second,
dirt.
I was gonna say Mountain Dew and
Still warm.
BO.
yeah.
Mountain Dew and Doritos is Jeff.
Yeah, that's him.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like licking cave walls. 100% trust. Like it's not
That
a
was-
McFlurry,
that
it's
was
just
something.
dirt
Just
and
salt in a coffee, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I reckon Talon would be those like unimpressive apple slices in the little plastic bag.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
no
that's
child
totally-
wants it. It'll to make the child cry.
And the hot tub
That's
of
his whole game.
water.
Yeah.
I worked in Macca's for far too long, and the apple slices used to arrive in like room temperature bags, and like
Oh.
like these massive boxes just stacked with them. We would put them into the fridge to pretend that they were still fresh, but no, sorry. Just like I will never have a coffee or a hot chocolate from Macca's ever again because it was my job to clean that goddamn machine.
Yeah.
Never again. So I don't know why are we talking about it? That sponsorship just vanished.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I was about to
sponsorship.
say I think we may have to cut that entire bit out because I'm not sure if that.
We need the chicken nugget sponsorship, okay?
I'm loving it.
The 4-7 has
like-
like 2-7.
I'm like, it's like it's Macca's for the Second Inquisition and like what is it, WhatsApp for the fucking Camarilla because that was so weird to throw. It's in my notes as canon that the Venture WhatsApp group.
Use of WhatsApp.
Apparently that was in
Yeah.
our one shot, wasn't it?
It was no, it was not. So it
Or
wasn't
it
part
was
of
in
the
it
official
was in
canon.
It was in the original episode 1 that we
Yeah.
had to redo. Is that there is a Venture.
No, even in episode 2 it showed up because 8 is driving Jen and Delilah, and Jen and Delilah
They ask
are
for your
like,
number.
ask
and
for your number.
She pulls it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
there
pulls
is-
it up from the
you're right.
WhatsApp group.
Yeah, there is canonically a Camarilla Venture WhatsApp group, and I hate it.
The one question I have from the SI episode, and
Just one.
the one at the top of the list, there are many questions.
Oh, we'll get there.
But the one at the top of the list is, why the hell did you all collapse when you got as soon as you got on base? Why then? Why not
Yeah,
before? Why not 20 minutes after?
Yeah, like
and I know you
yeah.
don't have the answers, but I need to know.
It was like at the exact. It was
I
like
would
No,
also,
Matt,
I would
you're looking
also
at
like
me.
to know that too.
like it was the exact same time they all walk into the room and then
Yeah.
bang. Like
I mean, to be fair, they had teleported for lost a week in there, and
Yeah.
they were exhausted. But why then?
Well, that's when it really hit them how poorly they fucked up and they just fainted with shame.
Right. Yeah.
I honestly,
Yeah.
I think that's canon. I agree with your interpretation. I'd also like to bring up that interesting point because we were all just looking suspiciously at Matt when we were like, why did they all collapse?
There's no
Why
gas. Why
then?
would we have gas in the garden? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, maybe, but I mean, matching up with the timelines, you were on the plane at this point, weren't you? You were doing episode 1.
Yeah, but you guys have to understand, before I started this chronicle, when I was making Mr. Winter's NPC with Matt, we were building it all up. Matt has actually specified some specific stuff for the garden.
Yeah. I've
But
seen
maybe-
a list. I probably haven't seen the list.
Yeah.
But just also how intricate the details and descriptions are as you're going through the garden. Like, there's clearly a plan there, and I need my hands on it.
I have a favour to ask, if at all possible, because it also might help people listening. But as someone relatively new to Vampire the Masquerade, because this is the first time I've ever done it, can someone actually add a definition for the phrase "the garden"? Because I've heard the term a lot, and I know it's called the garden, but is there an actual?
Oh, this is going to get
definition?
confusing because there's 2 gardens.
Yeah,
really
that's the thing. It's like I'm trying
blame-
so hard and just.
I blamed the Second Inquisition group because they decided as a group that they're gonna be the gardeners.
There are 2 gardens, and it's I cannot keep. I'm so confused because
The thing is-
I'm brand new. I'm pretty much brand new to the game. The first time I'd ever rolled a skull dice was the one shot we did before episode 1. So I'm still, and I keep hearing this phrase twice now in opposite teams, and I've got no idea what
It's
it means.
all to fuck with Maxie.
It's driving me.
For that.
It's driving me. Well, it's not
No,
It's
I
actually, we
hear-
all had a meeting before you joined, and we
Yeah.
decided that we'd make 2 gardens specifically to fuck with you.
Yeah.
Same.
So
No,
canonically, there's no such thing as the garden in VTM.
Okay, so it's not like an actual phrase for it.
There's no
Unless
the
you
garden.
talk about Bahari
Yeah.
gardens.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
suspected. It was more Bahari than it was Inquisition because it's not like, I don't know, bureaucratic or like stiff enough to be like an Inquisition term.
No, it was supposed to be Pine Gap, just Pine Gap, at least the facility. But then they decided, oh, we're just gonna name it the Garden to fuck with everybody else.
It
And
was.
I'm
was
like, why? Okay, I'll
Well,
just let this.
it's a
Well,
great
it
name
wasn't
for a
to fuck with
sinister
anybody.
place.
It was actually more because one, it's better. It was the colloquial name for our facility. Like we would commonly refer to it as the Garden, as opposed to saying Pine Gap every time. Because
Right.
one, if you're in a clandestine secret in quotation marks organization, you don't go around announcing it to everybody. So if you're like, oh, I work over at Pine Gap, and someone says, what do you do there? It's like, oh, I'm just the gardener.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't actually say what you did there because you'd be like, oh, I'm a secret agent. Like,
I kind
well,
of
I'm
want
the worst secret agent alive,
I
apparently.
kind of want footage of Talon in his suit, just going, "I'm just the gardener."
Exactly. Yeah, because
can
it's so
have it as a
incredulous. It's like, bro,
vignette.
you're obviously not a gardener.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what?
Holding a rake.
The
Yeah.
glasses.
Yes,
I
we are
trim the
all
hedges.
gardeners.
But to be fair, it does make sense now. It kind of lined up beautifully because Mr. Winters is now part of the Bahari, and this whole Pine Gap situation is now his garden.
Yeah.
Great.
Hey, everyone.
You've been very quiet, Matt.
No, I haven't been talking non-stop. What are you talking about?
We are about to get to the Bahari. And
Matt,
that's
your mic's not even
your
on.
Shit.
Oh. Just sit me in a corner without a microphone.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I did actually enjoy the fact that our character concepts are merging quite similarly now as well, with that whole garden concept. And after I saw the first episode and realized that Bahari had much more to do with the concept of gardens than I had thought when we were planning our SI stuff, it was just like, oh, that hits very close. That's going to be interesting and confusing for Maxi. But no, because I had trouble differentiating that at the start as well, because when they were talking about other gardens, I was like, but the SI only has one base that I know of.
don't you know?
What do I know?
Surprise, motherfuckers!
Winters.
This is ridiculous.
But I love that concept because even that actually triggered me to actually read up on what the Bahari actually is, because I didn't understand any of it. I was like, oh, okay.
Because
I
they
could probably
don't
do that.
crop up too much in
Yeah.
like your
There's like a
average
single
games.
lore sheet in the 5th
Yeah,
edition
Cultivars.
book. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cult of what, sorry?
Cultivars.
Cult of Ours. Oh, I thought you said Cult of Alice.
I mean, she's working on it.
First member over here.
Whoop, whoop.
I would love to be a high priest of Alice.
No, you are scum. Scum, Maxi, scum. Okay, come on over.
Yeah, please keep saying that.
It's like, oh, yes.
But yeah,
You're scum. So of course. I don't want to challenge her. Sorry.
the whole, like I already said, this is the first recap. Like the Bahari whole thing with the Bahari was just supposed to be just there at the background.
We
And
were gonna be the boogeyman.
yeah, it's supposed to be the boogeyman. Like you got all these groups who thinks that each other is like the enemy, but then they realize, no, man.
It's the Spider-Man meme of everyone pointing at each other going, no, you're the enemy. No, you're the enemy. What?
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
all the Bahari are just what was his name? The head of the newspaper?
JJ...
What's his face?
Jonah Jameson?
Yeah, we're just
Jonah-
smoking our cigars, leaning back on our chairs, laughing.
Yeah, basically that was the Bahari. Because a lot of things that's happening or in the future is gonna be happening to everybody else is because of Bahari planning stuff.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Los Bahari.
And speaking of Bahari,
Dun, dun, dun.
Like 45 minutes in.
let's do the whole recap for episode 2 of Bahari.
Cool. So, Bahari. Yeah, we did some stuff in some garden. Trying to remember how it started now.
Didn't we wake up in a panic
Yeah.
Yes.
in the middle of the day?
Oh, no, that was before.
That was halfway through.
was halfway through.
So
Oh.
we had.
Basically, all were preparing for the
Yeah,
the
we split the
ceremony.
party because that's a
We
good
did,
thing to
yeah.
do.
Yeah, I love it when everyone split the party.
And you had a very nice, pleasant conversation with some shovelheads.
Yeah, fuckers.
Very cool.
Fucking Sabat. Never trust the fucking Sabat. So yeah, I think everyone got introduced to the fact that Alice may not be whoever you think Alice is, because she's many people to many people. But surprise, she's involved in the Sabat. She took Lorna along for the ride. We meet some shovelheads who break my furniture.
That made me angry. Like watching that, because I was picturing it in my head. I'm like, you little fuckers.
So when I'm sitting at the table, I am Alice.
Yeah.
And I was clutching, like I had my hands, and I was clutching because I was not a happy fucking camper.
Yeah.
But yes, they broke my furniture. It's fine. I'll get more. They were excused from my presence. Called a hit on them.
I loved, like, that was like less than 2 minutes. Like,
No.
fine, leave. Oh, I have I have intel. on
Winter's
the
poo.
Sabat.
How are you doing? Go kill some fuckers for me.
Kill.
And we saw that Winters did not follow Alice's suggestions to the letter, which is intriguing, and I must know more.
Oh.
Oh,
What could that be?
I think that's just genuine SI incompetence, though. I don't think he was planning to be malicious.
See, the trick is, like, you gotta look like you're incompetent 90% of the time. So when you're actually doing the shit you want to do, people just like, hey, he's fucking up again, don't worry about it.
Yeah, that 1%. Yeah.
So is this like saying you can always trust a incompetent man to be incompetent?
No comment.
And then we saw.
Oh my god, Rena's been eaten by a chair.
They can try.
They're the real enemy.
Winters, it happened again.
Yeah, but it's like no, you know the Bahari when Alice went back to the Haven, the Archbishop's Haven.
Yep.
Question mark. The Sabat group. Technically, I used the test run group for it. Like, those characters are from the test run group. And that's, imagine in their second episode, they broke one room, like all the furnitures, because they were tussling around because one person started bleeding from everywhere, and the other person went into hunger frenzy. So the other people had to like grab each other and stop them from eating each other.
Well, at least they didn't break my piano. If they'd broken my piano, there would be no hit because I would be the hit.
Yeah, and it's like I was talking to Rowan, who used to play Cassius, who is one of the Sabat shovelheads, and I was explaining what happened, and he went like, "Oh yeah, that's definitely what I would do."
God, it made me angry.
Come on, you were like what, 20 something, and you just realized you can carry all this stuff. Like, throw some more stuff, man.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if I was left to my own devices, yeah, 100% I'd be fucking some shit up.
Yeah.
Especially if it didn't belong to me and I had no, like, they'd only been there for a couple of days. So they're bored, they want to get up to some shit, but they've been told not to leave. Yeah, it'd be causing trouble. Just furniture.
Like untamed puppies in a room full of cushions.
Pretty much. I did try and rub their noses in it, and that did not go down very well at all.
No.
Those are the ego of the freshly turned.
They've
Which Delata doesn't have.
Their group is actually like very insightful. That's why I managed to play it like that, because they have been in the test run episodes, at least they have been asking a whole lot of questions, like a lot about everyone, which is why with like the recent episodes, I was so happy when somebody like actually rolled inside for the first time in this chronicle.
God, we're dumb.
So that happened. We also found out that Alice has a hobby that involves cages.
Thorn and drained someone to death.
Yep.
My inner Maxie did not appreciate.
Look, the people who are there, most of them deserve to be there.
Is this your little statue garden?
No, this is the other end.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, this is the caged
Yep.
area. Yeah.
Okay.
The chicken coop.
The chicken coop. I'm good. Canon. Calling
Done.
it that now.
The chicken coop. Oh.
So we're gardeners and you're chicken farmers?
Yes. Well, no, we also have a garden.
Yeah.
We fertilise the garden.
Yeah.
With chicken.
You know, the Camarilla would just fuck up.
Yeah, step it up.
So
I've
we
been busy.
So we learned about that part. We also very quietly heard about Alice's status in the Sabbat. Very quietly.
For those of us that were hard of hearing.
She's a Templar.
Yeah, there is in one of the outros.
Yeah, like when there was the outro, I believe it was the outro of the Second Inquisition episode,
Yeah.
where you called the Archbishop. I was like, whenever I'm always doing something on a different screen when I'm watching things. It's the second time, because I did the second time earlier today, where I have looked up so quickly my neck cracked. My housemate loves overhearing things because she just heard me go, "Motherfucker!"
Was that to your neck or to me playing?
You!
this? You're welcome.
I'm fine with pain. You're worse.
I have
Oh
to
my
think.
god, you say the sweetest things.
Fine
Stop
with
it!
pain,
No
you say.
flirting in this table.
Oh, that
Save
wasn't
it for the
flirting,
stream,
Rena.
guys.
The audience would never think that we actually like each other.
I fucking hate you.
But yeah, I'm
Things
so
going on
happy.
outside of the fucking room.
I'm so happy Paulina had the time to actually do the
Yeah.
whole thing. It might be a bit spoiler for like people, but they don't know who it is.
No.
Or
But
the
This recap will be coming out after all of the second
Episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll know.
No, they don't know who Paulina is playing as.
It's in the credits.
Yes.
Yeah, it just says
She's
the
playing
title.
as
It
the.
just says the title though, no name.
Yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
The more and more people that join the Discord with fresh names, the more and more frightened I
Oh
get.
yeah, every time someone new joins, it's like, uh-oh.
If I see a single person with the name Regina, I'm going to hurt you. I will just leave. It's just, no.
I don't know. I'm still looking for the rubber.
Please no.
That's good to know then, because I was wondering who they
Yeah.
were talking about when they said, "Why are we fucking with the Templar?"
Cool. So then we saw the preparations that Dasha was doing with the garden, spraying glass around because that's not going to cause problems later on.
Just wear
and-
shoes.
Just wear shoes, yeah.
Everything Dasha does,
It's frightening, and
it's
that's
terrifying.
the exact reason why she does everything she does. And then we actually got to see a Bahari ritual, which
At the
is
very end, yeah.
not something that's often portrayed in games. Again, because they're mostly the boogeyman. There's not a whole lot written about them. The one book that is kind of hearsay mostly. So,
Right.
Which I don't understand. It's like, it's supposed to be like a big thing for
it
like.
is a big thing, but the Bahari are an oral tradition, so it's word of mouth. The stories are passed down person to person, priest
And
to
it's, the
priestess.
it's one of the first times we see actual Bahari.
Yeah, where we actually see some Bahari bullshit. It's
Yeah,
kind of great.
Bahari rituals and stuff, which Melissa had to dig through all her tomes.
Man, you should have seen my library. It was me sitting on the floor with my laptop and all of my books from V1 all the way through to V5 and just going, oh my god, there's so much stuff! Going through all the lore sheets, trying to pick out snippets of it, and then going through like all of my witchcraft and herbalism books to try and find things. And then I had to go online and go, what native plants are in that area that are endemic to that area? Because I need plants. All right, now let's have a look at toxicology reports, because I'm 100% that person. I will look at toxicology reports to see just how bad all of these myths are about these plants. So yeah, the Gimpy tree, actually really painful, and the pine cone that was mentioned that's added to the blood of Lilith, actually toxic. It does get used as food by First Australians in that area, but it goes through a lot of processing to actually be edible and non-toxic, and you will note we did not do that. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Winters gets affected by it.
Just straight up dies.
And that's how he dies.
It was in the cupcakes.
So that was, I actually really enjoyed doing that bit because it's something that, in all of the games that I've run and played in, I've never had Bahari involved. and it was really delightful to actually put my stamp on it. So thank you, Rena.
No worries. I love the group, honestly. It's like, no, I'm biased. Like, I told everyone here already that I'm biased towards the Bahari because every time there's like a Bahari recording, somebody always brings goodies like cupcakes or brownies or...
I mean, we're fucking kick-ass, really. We're awesome people.
Or blood.
or
Yes, we
blood.
also bring blood.
Dead
But yeah.
bird.
Look what I found in the yard, Mum.
A lot of things that was mentioned in the Bahari episode 2 has actually affected the Camarilla now for like the recent recordings, and the Second Inquisition will be finding themselves in really hot water soon. But yeah, thank you guys very much.
Wait, there was one more really important piece of information from the Bahari ritual, or from the Bahari episode. I have 2 puppy dogs.
Yeah, there's two.
yeah.
I have
Two
Cerberus
dogs.
and Fluffy.
No,
They're going to be ghouls.
they're going to be ghouls. There's no.
That's so cool.
So Alice has her flies, and she's going to have her puppy dogs.
By the time we actually come face to face with Alice, you're gonna have an entire menagerie
Menagerie.
of like ghoul animals.
What's to say I don't already?
Dogs, flies, giraffe.
Giraffe.
It's just a rhinoceros walking through Alice Springs.
Your most dangerous one is a sloth, but it'll get to Alice Springs eventually.
Hold on, I'm wondering, Kai, did you manage to hear about the outro of the Camarilla one, the episode 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. And watching their episodes and everything else, did you put it together yet?
Not yet, but considering I fucked up earlier in the episode, I'll be rewatching, like earlier today, I will be rewatching Camarilla episode 2. And this time, because I always watch things once for fun and then I watch it again to study it, and I will actually rewatch the 3 and take notes.
Alright, so we will leave that at that, and thank you guys very much for joining us for this recap episode, and we'll see you next week for episode 3 of all the groups, well, the Camarilla group for most of it. My name is once again Rena, and I have been the storyteller of this chronicle.
My name's Melissa, and I've been Alice.
I'm Aston, and I have been Mr. Talon.
I'm Matt, and I've been here the whole time.
Yep.
I'm Kai, and I'll be playing Maxi for a little while longer.
And I'm Lou, and I'll be playing Jeff.
Oh, you'll see him soon.
Yay!
Anyway, guys, thank you guys. We'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
What? It's a video. Why is it a video? Hello, hi.
Hi.
So that's gonna be a future prince of the whole chronicle. That's Jeff.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's amazing Jeff coming at you in this YouTube video.
This is Jen, just chilling.
Hello.
This is pretty much what everyone gets given. Do you need any of the footage on desktop?
No, that's Mr. Winters busy being Matt. That's Charlie.
So close. 1 inch. Oh my god.
And that's the Venture that got eaten by a ghost.
Jelly bean ghost.
Hello.
How do I turn this off?
Rolling down the river. You guys packed sunglasses when we teleported. Okay. So I have a really important question before we begin. Did all of you stop for chicken nuggies? If we had the time before the sunrise, it's more important that, I mean, to me it's more important Seven got nuggies before Yue burns and dies. But
I'll just be like, out.
Fuck yeah, we stopped for chicken nuggets.
The hooligans. Ahi hai lila toe.
oh.